Hello data detectives. In our real world data science projects, we get our data which is stored inside file formats such as Excel, CSV, JSON, HTML, SQL, Parquet, these kinds of file formats we get our data from, right? So we have to import that data inside our code environment so we can work on it. What kind of work we have to do as a data scientist? We have to do data cleaning, data pre-processing, some feature engineering and data visualization. So even people who don't have much technical knowledge or they are not a number guys, then they can understand that data just by looking at some visualizations. So how can we do this in Python? We take help from amazing Python library, the beast Pandas. In this video I will tell you what is Pandas, how you can create a data frame in it, or how you can import or export a data set from these kinds of file formats. And as a bonus point, I will tell you some basic methods which will help you to get an overview of your data. If you find this video helpful, if you learn something new from this video, then hit that like button, subscribe to Data Decides. If you have any questions or thoughts, then put them inside the comment section below. Don't hesitate at all. Myself, OMKAR PAWAR, your buddy in data science journey. So let's get right into it. So what is Pandas exactly? So Pandas is a Python library which is built on top of NumPy, which makes it super fast just like NumPy's. And what things can we do by using Pandas library? We can import data from various sources like Excel, CSV as I told you. And what we can do is that we can do lot of data cleaning, we can fetch lot of data insights, we can do feature engineering, and we can do some basic data visualization by using Pandas library. So let us get started with the Pandas library by first installing this library inside our system. So let us first open the terminal, and inside it we have to use one command, that is pip install pandas. As simple as that. So if I hit the enter, it is already telling me requirement satisfied, because I have already installed this library in my system. If you have not installed this, then you should. Now let us get started with the Pandas. So before we get started, I want to tell you what is the data frame, because this is a basic structure inside a Pandas library that we use to deal with the data. Data frame is very similar to spreadsheets in Excel. Let me show you one diagram so it will be more clear to you. If you see this diagram, inside this diagram there are bunch of columns and there are bunch of rows. So data frame is nothing but rows and columns combined together. Let me show you how we can create this data frame. So to create that, what we will do, we will first import our library, import pandas as pd, because we are using this short form pd because it is widely accepted one, so we are using it. So I have imported my pandas library. So what I will do is that first I need one data to convert it into a data frame. So that data is nothing but dictionary with list. So let me show you how we can create one. So I am going to create one students data. Inside that students data, we are going to have some features like some columns like let's say roll number, and as a value I'm going to create one list, and there are going to be 101, let's say 102, 103.
2000 years later,
and here we go. So I have created this data. If I check it, it is nothing but a dictionary which have list as its value. And when we are going to convert this our data into a data frame, what is going to happen is that this roll number, student's name, marks, date of birth, height and weight, these keys of this dictionary are going to be the label of my columns. So I'm going to have labels as a roll number, student's name, marks, date of birth, like that, and the rest of the values are going to be my rows. Like for the roll number it is going to be 101, 102, 103, 4, 5, like that. So if I convert this data into a data frame, let's see how we can do that. So I will use pd dot data frame, and inside that data frame we have to pass this dictionary of lists. So I will do that, pd dot data frame, and I will save it inside one variable df, short form for data frame. So if I hit enter, my data frame is created, and if I hit enter again to see it, so this is how my data frame is going to look like. As I told you, all the keys are acting as my header: roll number, student's name, marks, date of birth, height and weight, and all the values inside the list are going to be my rows. So this way you can create a data frame from scratch, or if you have other data, like I have here bunch of data sets. So let me show you. For this CSV file, CSV is nothing but a comma separated value. If you check in this CSV, there are lot of data, as you can see, and it is all separated by comma. So comma separated values. So, and the first row is nothing but my header, right? So it is containing the values like player, their age, and maybe the team in which they are. So let us import this CSV data inside our data frame, so we can work with ease on it. So how can I do that? So first I will store the file path, okay, and that file path is nothing but a string, which is this location for this file. So I will copy the path and I will paste it here, okay. And what I will do right now is that I will use this is going to be like basketball related data. So for this data frame I will give the name as basketball df as a data frame, and the method that I will use is that pd dot read csv. As you can see, there are other stuff also there, pd dot read csv, and inside that I will pass the file path. As you can see, this is my data frame, and you can see all the values inside it. So it is containing player name, maybe their age, what is their team, and all the other tiny details about the player performance, I guess. In the same way also, I can also work with the Excel data. If you see this flight price data, it is nothing but an Excel file. So if I want to import that, then how can I do that? So similar to this one, what I have to do is that let's say I create one file path here, and this is, I will say, like file path 2, okay. So you, and what I am doing is that let's say flight price data frame, and I will use here pd dot read excel, and inside that I will give this file path. If I hit enter, you can see all the data related to this flight price, it containing the what is the name of the airline, what is the date of the journey, what is the destination, from where to where it is going, what was the time of departure, arrival time. So you can see all that data, and you can handle this data, you can play with this data with the help of Pandas. Similar to importing our data from different file formats into a data frame, we can also do is that we can export our processed data to different file formats. For example, if we check out this basketball data frame, okay, so this is I imported this data frame from CSV file format, right? Let's say right now I want to export it into a different file format. How can I do that? So to do that, what I have to do is that let's first take this data frame, okay, basketball data frame. No, what I will do is that I will use basketball df dot to excel, and in that I have to give the file format. So where I should save it is that I will copy this file format, okay, copy path. So I will give the file path there where to save it. I want to save it inside this pandas. So instead of this I will write different file format. I will say processed basketball data dot xlsx. If I run this cell, it is going to save it into a Excel file format. If you check here, my data has been converted and it has been converted into a Excel format, right? Let's say like if you want to get like a basic overview of your data, if we see our first data frame that we created for students data frame, so it have all the values, right? But let's suppose that it have so many rows, like the whole college data we have, then there are going to be like thousands of rows there, right? So what we can do is that, let's see, if you want to check out the first few rows for your analysis, then you can use df.head, and inside that you can give the amount of rows that you want to see. Let's say if I want to only check out the first two students related rows, then I will say like df.head, and it will give me the first two rows. And the same way I can take the last students data also by using df.tell, and inside that let's say I give 3, then it will give me the last student's name. We can also check like what is the data type of our all the columns. We can use df.d types, so it will give us data type. So if we check our data types, so it is like roll number is integer, student name is object. So inside the data frame, if something is in string, then it is considered as an object. So if we are going for marks, so it is in integer, and for date of birth also it is in object. If I am working on a data science project, so first thing what I will do is that I will convert this date of birth data type from object to date time. So to do that I will use pd.to date time, and I will give my feature and dob. So I'm accessing my date of birth column here, and I'm applying like transformation. I'm converting this from object to date time format, and to make sure that all the changes are going to be in place, what I will do is that I will save all the values at the same time in that particular column. And if I again check my data type here, if I check my data type for the date of birth, the data type have changed from object to date time format. And just similar to data types, we have one more method which is more used. I use that more than this d type, which is df.info, which gives us more information about our whole data set. So if I use this df.info, it tells you that how many rows are there, 5 entries, okay, and how many columns are there. There are total 6 columns and 5 entries. And it also tells you about what is the data type, how many values are there, how many like non-null values are there. Sometimes what happens is that we have missing value in our data, so we have to sometimes substitute that missing value, or sometimes if that missing values are very low in number, then what we do is that we simply drop those rows who have the missing values. So the choice is up to you and depends on the what kind of a data you have and what is the situation. If I do like df.describe, then it will give me some statistical summary of my whole data set. So it is giving there are like 5 values in all these features, okay, and it is also giving me what is the mean value, the central location, okay. It is also giving me the median. If you see the 50 percentile, which is nothing but a median, and it is also giving what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value, what is the standard deviation. So it is basically giving me a statistical overview of my whole data. Like I can know like what is the highest score in the class, that is 95, and what is the lowest score in the class, that is 78. This kind of a details, insights I can easily get just by looking at this df.describe method. If you are interested to know how we can fetch out the particular data from our data frame like this date of birth, then you should check out this video. And if you have no idea about NumPy, the godfather, then I highly recommend you to check out our previous video. If you got to learn something new from our video, then hit that like button, subscribe to Data Decides. I am your host OMKAR PAWAR. Thank you for watching this video. See you in next one. Subscribe.
Collapse. I'll be moving too fast. Got my foot up on the gas, full throttle till I crash.